Hello, Life Group leaders of Olive Tree Church. I have the enviable task, I suppose, of getting you started for the 2 life groups that you're going to be talking on money at. As you've noticed, we've got this series called Make It Count, where we're talking not just about money, but really about the heart behind what we do with our money. And we didn't want to get you talking about money for 4 weeks in a row. I think that might be a good way to kill your life group, is to have the money conversation 4 weeks in a row. So just to give you the kind of scheme of where we're going, you'll have 2 nights in a row talking about money. This one, where we talk about this mammon character. Who is that? What does that thing even do? And so we can start to get the conversation going. And I recommend that that first one would be not too intense, where people have to really put the finger on what they're doing, but give them the space to talk in the third person and speak about my friend who has debt and that sort of stuff. I'll give you a few more pointers on exactly what we're doing. And then the other one is around the heart behind our money altogether. So really, what's going on with my ability to have faith in God's provision? What's going on with my ability to steward it wisely and yet also be generous? What's going on with my ability to be, generous but tithe and trust God and all that sort of stuff? Is it my money? Did I make it? The heart behind it is going to be the second conversation. Then, so that you know where we're going, that gets us to 3 weeks' time, which is the week of June the 16th. And so I want to give you a heads up right now that what we think would be a good idea for you to do on June the 16th, which is the second to last week of the term, is to not just have a social where you kind of don't have any better idea and so you randomly have dinner together, but take quite seriously what you're going to use that week for. And I recommend that you get out into a different venue, that you do your best to invite extras and friends and spouses if they don't normally come, and be creative around how you're going to make that a somewhat missional evening. So you're going to do something where your group can invite their friends to go-karting or play 10-pin bowling or have a picnic on the beach or whatever the case might be. But seeing as there's a public holiday that weekend or that Tuesday, why not kind of claim it as a life group outreach night? So social, but with a plan. And so you've got 3 weeks to chat to your life group and think about what that might be. And then you come back together for the last week of the term. And what we don't do often enough is look back and evaluate things. And so Bruce will shoot a film for you that will get the juices flowing, and you'll receive that in a few weeks. But the idea really is that at that point, you're going to be looking back on the term and asking, well, what's God really done through the one-off series and one-off sermons that we've had, through life hacks, through Make It Count, through life group evenings, through praise and prayer evenings. Let's look at the highs and lows of where we've grown lots and where we've maybe messed up and learned some lessons through the course of this second term. So it'll be a looking back and evaluating evening. Okay, but tonight you're talking about mammon, and so you're getting people to start speaking about their money, and it's worth us just thinking about who's in the room. There are probably going to be 3 groups of people in the room. There'll be those who are in massive pain around this area. They are going to have pain for various reasons, but a lot of it's around, I've been asked for money so many times, I'm just not sure I can trust the church on this issue, number 1. Number 2, I have personal struggle around this. I'm in debt, or I'm living far too close to my means, or me and my wife are fighting about money all the time. I don't know if I have control over it. And so there'll be that group. And then there'll be the second group who are ignorant about this stuff. They're probably doing okay. They're probably quite wise in the worldly sense. They're saving and have insurance policies and aren't going nuts. They are respectable, good citizens, as the world would say. But there's very little faith involved in that. In fact, the idea that I should be taking faith risks with my money and investing it in the kingdom of God and sowing and reaping, that's kind of from left field for me. That sounds like manipulation. That sounds like wishful thinking. That sounds like the kind of thing hippies do and young students who've maybe just got saved and aren't smart yet, but I've got a family, I've got responsibilities, I need to be wise. So they're probably quite ignorant around God's money principles, but they're not in pain. And so those people will require some good thought and some clear scriptural evidence to move them, whereas the people in pain, you're going to need to be really gentle with them. Bear in mind the guy who's exhausted from being asked for money and feels like he doesn't have any anyway, and this topic is going to be a red flag to the bull for him. And then the last group is the person who's tithing already, who's probably been a Christian for a long enough period to know that tithing is a good idea, God can be trusted in it, and yet really that's become a budgeted item, and they haven't thought properly about their finances for a while. So at first prod, they'd go, I'm a Christian and I'm not in crazy debt and I'm not spending my money on wine, women and song, and I tithe, so that should be the end of the conversation. And to be able to push them to go, I can sow and really trust God that I will reap. I can be faithful with the little that I have and really trust God that He will give me more. I can push myself into greater and greater levels of faith and generosity at the same time as pushing myself into better stewardship. That'll be an interesting and hopefully quite life-giving conversation for them. So those are your three groups of people. And what you're going to try and shift them on this evening is the idea that money is not a neutral thing. Money is a very spiritual issue, and the spirit of mammon, hovers over your money just like the Spirit of God hovered over the water in the beginning, and is lying to us all the time. So your people are not unaffected by the way media and marketing shouts at them, at the way the spirit of mammon is trying to appeal to their worst side. I mean, always, that's what marketers do, and that's what mammon has taught them to do. Not that marketers are demon-possessed, but appeal to my fear, appeal to my stress, and give me a chance to relieve it, appeal to my lust, appeal to my greed. Those insecurities that I have, if I can appeal to those, appeal to my desire to be famous or my desire to be cool and fit in, and convince me that if I don't have your product, I will have my insecurities realized, and you've got me spending money. And so Mammon is trying to say, I'll promise that I'll do what in fact God promises to do for us and deal with our insecurities. So that's your plan tonight, is trying to show people that their money is a far more spiritual thing than they thought. It's not a neutral thing. And while there's all that bad information, God has good information for them, and that's when we'll go to Luke. So enjoy the evening, be mindful of your three people, and start to float the idea of the June 16 public holiday, missional outreach, social kind of thing. Enjoy it.